Oh, you don't need that theatrical Justice League or the 4-hour Snyder Cut Justice League when you've got a Justice League that's been sitting right there in the cabinet for 24 years and it's about time you used it! Yes, in the genre of superhero pilots that didn't go anywhere, in 1997 we got the pilot movie Justice League of America. A movie whose still shots scream, we're just walking across the street to the Comic-Con, or it's Big Bang Theory stunt doubles. This Justice League has Green Lantern, The Flash, Fire, and some others who aren't Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, because due to copyright issues, they couldn't use any of those characters. The 97 Justice League coincidentally also has 2 directors who worked on it separately, although for wildly different reasons. The bulk of the movie was directed by Felix Enriquez, a veteran TV director who's worked on everything from Battlestar Galactica to Lois and Clark and to The Defenders. When the movie wasn't turning out so great, Louis Teague was brought on to try to fix the project. Teague is no stranger to movies with 2 directors. He also co-directed Dirty O'Neill. But he was brought on so late into this production that there was little he could do to make it better, so he decided to remain uncredited. Release the Dirty O'Neill cut. The film is the sometimes origin story of Tori Olafsdotter, aka Ice, who becomes a member of the Justice League. Just think of the boys, only less awesome and less of a blood budget. Together they fight the evil Weatherman. That's a good sign. Weather-related villains were always a huge hit in the late 90s. But this movie had better not force in a bunch of comedy.
So Tori, tell us what happened.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh good, it may say 1997, but it's also like a mid to late 2000s mockumentary. Complete with a title screen that has a massive pitch meeting vibe to it. These heroes had better hurry, the weather is already going crazy. Though it's taking place in New Metro, so for all I know, this is normal weather for them this time of year. The great Miguel Ferrer plays Dr. Eno, clearly put in place so he can report all of these changes in weather back to Randall Flagg. The foreshadowing here is obvious. Look, Tori is the stock awkward girl who instantly drops files. Clearly she'll become Cheetah in the 3rd act. But enough of that setup, back to the interviews!
You know, I'm a nice guy, I think. You know, I like to go eat sushi sometimes. I like to...
It's interesting seeing Barry Allen's audition tape for Joey Tribbiani. While it's the Barry Allen Flash, Green Lantern is the Guy Gardner ring bearer, who is written more as a composite of Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, and Kyle Rayner. And since he's played by Matthew Settle, that means he's Green Lantern Guy Gardner by day, Lincoln Hawk frontman Rufus Humphrey by night. Sorry, I'm talking over his introduction.
My life depends on you guys.
That wasn't a clip, that was the entire scene. We should probably get back to this whole crazy weather scene.
Good afternoon, New Metro. This is the weatherman with today's forecast. In case you haven't noticed, it's windy out.
My god, is this what I sound like on camera? My voice is way cooler than this. I mean, I'm not the weatherman. But much like the Talking Head segments, we have other things to get to. Or not, we should probably move on. It's okay, when an emergency strikes, he left his date Cheryl to bang the musicians. But let's get to know BB DaCosta first.
I really love acting, I really do. You know, you get these fabulous parts, these unbelievable...
Sorry, is this the featurette and not the movie? Hell, it's like it comes with its own commercial breaks. Must buy Fruit of the Loom boxers. This is gonna come in handy when the Justice League has to help Pac-Man fight ghosts. Fire is a struggling actress, but I think she can make it in the biz.
BB DaCosta? Oh, at your service.
but I got a split.
You're fired. I wish this was a better project. Ray Palmer, the Atom, is played by John Kasser. I should be loving a superhero movie that contains both Miguel Ferrer and the Crypt Keeper. It's too bad there aren't more episodes. Then maybe it would have finally been revealed that they're all being watched over by the Fantastic Five. But I do like that it's one of the few DC movies to feature the underused villain known as the Mockbuster. Crazy weather we're having, right?
Imagine if we could harness the power of that storm. We could light the entire country for 6 months.
Don't listen to Dax Shrek. He's evil. The weather is so bad it's knocking people down all over the place and injuring the construction workers.
Coffee breaks over, boys.
Did she just make a joke? And the cat should be the most important person that you save. Adam has to be very careful. He's got to shrink down and save the cat, all while not damaging the suit before he returns it to the porn parody set. Also, shouldn't the Flash be the first one there? They may have foiled the weatherman's plan this time. He will vent his rage by broadcasting on side of the building TV. They may be the Justice League, but really, they're also super friends.
And I just lost my apartment. God knows where I'm gonna stay tonight. Oh, would you look at the time?
Let him get his face gnawed off in the alley while sleeping with the other bums. This movie is mostly romantic subplots, one of which involving fire and David Krumholtz, who was the audition guy.
You're only as old as you feel.
Uh-huh.
And right now, I'm feeling pretty old.
This is before he falls into a barrel of chicken grease and becomes Harvey Weinstein. There is drama, though. Guy is pissed that asshole Flash has moved in. Barry really is the Saul of this group. They have an extreme F. Barry attitude. Ugh, cooking in 2 seconds. What an asshole. I suppose he's gonna want to eat as well. I smell melodrama.
Uh-oh, GL. Hope you didn't fill up on appetizers, because the main course is about to overstay his welcome.
But back to every superhero movie ever, Tori is snooping because of course she is. The twist of this plotline is that she doesn't eventually become a villain. If she did, maybe she would have the power of laugh track, which I think they already have.
Hey, Viv.
So, who's gonna run lines with me?
He is.
Okay, enough of that. I guess we're back at this scene again. The writers here may be Lorne Cameron and David Hasselton, but it has such a random insert scene structure that it still feels like something Chris Terrio would write. Though I do like that for the most part it's not really an origin story, except for Ice. And that's how she became Jamie Foxx as Electro. She had better harness her powers, because so far they seem a little stupid. What kind of superhero has the power to just smear shaving cream everywhere? And considering she's being followed around by a not-so-subtle cameraman, she's gonna have to work extra hard on keeping her identity a secret. This has instantly made her nights more interesting. People will just fall in the water around her, making it perfect for her to save them with her new ice powers. But back to the secret identity thing, where is this interview show airing? Do they not need to live in secret anymore? Why are they doing this? Especially when their real lives are as dramatic as fixing a television set.
Ray, you gotta fix a TV. Hurry up. You know, we're gonna miss Touched by an Angel.
See, they had the same Saturday nights as my grandma. Tori's night continues to be way more interesting. She's kidnapped and thrust into a network TV version of Saw. No one is good at hiding their identities here. The voice talking to her is obviously David Ogden Stiers, which means Ratcliffe kidnapped her. She must be really scared. She instantly falls asleep. I bet this is really just a hazing ritual. They send her back to her room and covered in ice that they scraped from her freezer. She must prepare for her new life of people saying ironic lines around her.
Tori, you see Nino?
He's out.
We seem a bit cold today.
Good thing she wasn't cursed with canine powers, or he would have said, "You're being a real bitch!" But even Dr. Eno is acting all weird.
I'm concerned about this weatherman business.
What makes you say that?
Where else in New Metro are the scientists who could pull that off?
I wonder if he's the weatherman. Whoa, wait a minute. 2 Miguels for the price of one, and the other is the creature from the Black Lagoon? How is this movie not better? Hell, part of it is a Lifetime thriller where Fire is getting stalked by Martin the audition guy. But I'm sure he's a catch. He knows her so well.
I do know that you're between boyfriends now, and sometimes you get lonely.
Yeah, that's romantic and totally not creepy. At least the only thing that guy does is take a couple of ice cream cones without paying. Oh, and constantly having to leave when bad things happen. You should maybe see who owns that giant building TV. But they're getting some things out of the way, like banishing this evil back to the Sci-Fi Channel. And being a totally different person than Guy, obviously.
Don't you think you're being a little hard on him?
Maybe you're right.
Thanks, complete stranger who's totally not the person I went on a date with. David Ogden Stiers is Martian Manhunter, who is giving the orders to our heroes, which again also comes with its own commercial break.
And the pocket fisherman's handle is its own mini tackle box.
Now I must buy a fishing pole. So whichever ring bearer is the worst at advice must also be here, since Guy tells her, you should really give that creepy guy who's been following you around a chance. Go out on a date with him, but after our wisecracky press junket.
Hey, I think we make out pretty good.
Yeah, except for when we have to change the game plan.
Well, that's what keeps it interesting.
This movie is like a knockoff of Friends that would have aired on the Fox network. You know, opposite an all-new Buddies on ABC. I mean, there's some drama, I guess, like when they have to infiltrate a party to find out who the weatherman is. When you're married to Lily Vanderwoodson, you should be able to get into most parties.
And you, sir.
Oops. When you're not invited to the hottest party in New Metro, your invitation can always be a naughty trick up your sleeve.
It shouldn't take them long to figure out what's going on. The drinks are clearly laced with dry ice, and if you see Miguel Ferrer at a party, he's obviously the villain you're looking for. But just when you get caught up in a scene, the talking head segments come back. Was this what was added to the movie late into production? This feels wildly out of place and just used for padding the runtime and awkwardly inserting comedy. Had this gone to series, would these parts still be here? Or would they have gone the way of the talking head segments from Sex and the City? Oh, and I think these two are romantic interests now.
Well, you can start by telling me your name.
That's an easy one. It's Tori.
Well, if she can get past the creepy laugh, it'll probably work out. Hell, even when they're looking for the super secret files, romance still gets in the way. This is like Melrose Place if every now and then it's interrupted by a superhero story. This feels like the same universe as that Wonder Woman by way of Ally McBeal pilot. Anyway, I'm sure they'll find the super secret files and the evil computer room, but let's get to the real reason why you're here, Lloyd's segment. And now it's time for Lloyd's Out of Context 911 Lone Star Clip of the Week.
That you hear our prayer. Holy crap!
Looks like heaven threw his ass out. I don't know why this special wasn't promoted more. Look at the huge budget put into the amazing laser security effects, even if it gets stupid about it. Thanks, 1997. Good lord, is there even a love triangle in this? My god, the TV melodrama jokes just write themselves.
I'd like you to meet Peter. Dr. Peter Holman.
Spotted. Will our lonely ring bearer ever find his flower girl?
Look, this is just the kind of drama you get when not only do you have Rufus Humphrey, but also Taryn Baker from the OC. They try to red herring her sleazy coworker, and it even comes with a chase scene. Ooh, I bet he's the weatherman. He's not the weatherman.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about this.
But he is another underused DC villain, the Fitter. All kinds of secrets are getting revealed here. Dr. Eno is also that mysterious Max Headroom who broke into TV feeds. He leaves clues all around, like evil computers and files, but even if he didn't, it shouldn't have taken you this long to figure out he's the villain. He is pissed. He's not fulfilling his promise to drop her out a higher window. At least Tori is doing something. The others are engaging in roommate jokes.
I got that stain out.
Oh, great. How'd you do that?
I flashed it out.
Get it? Want more?
Yeah, well, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way just isn't helping my bank account,
Yeah, because I keep getting sued by Superman and the makers of Three's Company.
Jeez, it's that Tori, what's her name, her daughter, girl?
Olaf's daughter?
Hey.
Guys, come on. There's important things to get to here, like the identity of the supervillain for one.
The weatherman, Dr. Eno. God, you think you know someone so well.
Yeah, that's on you. But I won't know how quirky they are as a couple unless they talk to the camera.
Well, Ray has always been there for me, right from the start. He's just so...
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Now it's a Woody Allen knockoff. I always thought Justice League should have been a lot more like husbands and wives. But back to the thriller segment. I'm surprised it's Supergirl and Superman 4 that John Cryer was in, considering this one has Ducky in it, before once again being interrupted.
There was one time when we were 4 years old, and it was Christmas time, and we were opening presents.
I don't care! I guess they needed to cover up the parts that they couldn't show due to the budget, because it goes from the interview segment to a scene that takes place after Fire used her powers to save a group of people. However, we can show you the gang sneaking in through the back way at C2E2. Now I know where the budget went that we couldn't show the missing mudslide segment or whatever that was. We do need this scene, though, to show the true identity of fake Miguel. Oh shit, Dracula put on the mask!
I am John Jones, leader of the Justice League.
Or he's that too. Okay, so he went undercover as the other Dr. Eno to protect Tori while also avoiding the real weatherman. Good thing his plan isn't complicated. But if you really need the other origin stories...
Radioactive deposit in the desert, about the same time the Green Lantern found his ring.
I was born a fire starter.
Whatever. Get back to the talking head segment so they can talk about, I don't know, what they had for lunch that day.
He's from another world.
He's
He
otherworldly.
has knowledge. I mean, he has knowledge that surpasses the suppressive ideals of humanity.
Or you could just awkwardly talk about nothing, because I don't think there's a script! As creepy as Martin is, though, I have to give him some credit. He is the only one in the city smart enough to say, hey, that superhero looks just like someone I know. But if the brief descriptions of their origins weren't enough, we'll take time out to show you things you already know.
The Geiger counter was off the charts, but I couldn't resist picking up this rock.
In other words, I was bad at my job. Hell, they may want Tori on their team, but really they should look into this guy. He seems a bit smarter. He'd have figured out Adam's identity way sooner. Oh my god, I'm shocked by this revelation. Although maybe Martin and Adam's banter wouldn't be as super witty as these two.
Once I froze him in an ice cube and put it in my friend's drink. That was fun.
Slow down, candid camera. Now let's hear the hilarious story about Green Lantern putting green plastic on the toilet seat. The interview portions have taken over so much that it's starting to feel like a majority of the third act. There's more of these two adorabling than there is her training segments. Or the villain wanting $20 million.
Turning to the 5-day outlook, let's see. There won't be one.
I worked all night on this graphic. Even when it isn't the talking head parts, it's still mainly about the romances. Yeah, we only have so much time to save the city, but what about Martin and the earrings?
Your secret would have been safe if it hadn't been for the earrings.
The earrings?
I'm on the edge of my seat about the earrings. Maybe this really is a series within the series, because they've got the Spaceballs-like power of just putting in the movie and watching it. And why are they wasting their duplication powers on the head elf from the North Pole?
Because you know what happened to the last person who called me a liar?
Yeah, but really, it was more like this. They're wasting so much time on other things that the villain just freely shows up at Tori's place. And I think she could defeat him on her own if she wanted.
No, get away from me!
See, he's gonna get a wicked flu and be in bed for days! Oh wait, she's back at their home base like she never left, and he's back to Villain TV? This is as randomly placed as the non-Miguel Ferrer The Stand. Okay, there's only 7 minutes of the movie left. We have to stop the weatherman so we could get back to our dating plots. Nice. Even nicer. These heroes know exactly what to do. The weatherman sends a tidal wave that they're gonna surf the hell out of for an amazing interview story. Then grab a few kids off the street, the wave might have sprained their ankle. Everyone else can manage. As for the weatherman,
It's not bad.
carve him to pieces with a chainsaw. If only one of them had the power to do something with water. If she hadn't have randomly opened that case and got powers, the Justice League would have failed.
Darn weathermen, they never write.
And he wouldn't have been able to say that stupid joke! That settles it. Tori, aka Ice, has officially become part of their sitcom gang. Now their main villain is just Martin being creepy off camera.
He wants me to meet his new girlfriend, some 16-year-old cheerleader.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that.
Maybe you should. You're a superhero and Martin might have teenagers locked in his basement. Yes, there's one remaining interview segment that sums up everything we just saw. But I'll know it's officially over when there's narration.
Poor S. Looks like this is one family reunion you weren't invited to. Better keep laser focused, because things can easily go from cold to hot. Get out your umbrella, GL. There's definitely a storm coming. XOXO, Justice League.
I can see why this aired with very little hype or advertising. The pilot was dumped on rerun-ridden post-Christmas December 28th on CBS, and it jumped right into obscurity so fast that I only first heard of this a couple years ago. With its ad-libbed interview segments that are never mentioned anywhere else in the movie, the whole thing just has a pad this out so we can air it energy. It has the look and feel of something that was specifically designed to only exist on bootlegs. As if DC needed their own 1994's Fantastic Four or the Star Wars Holiday Special. But the casting's good. I would have liked to have seen Matthew Settle, John Kasser, and Miguel Ferrer in a much better Justice League project. And I'm still sad that this never went to full series because, again, I really want to know more about the goddamn earrings.
Well, my voice would still be like this. I'd be speaking, hey, I got a little bit of a cold,